Hi, I'm Swift Shadow, and this is a guide for the Mini UFO boss fight in Toy Box. This is the boss fight that takes place directly after the Angelic Amber doll boss fight. I'm going to be referring to it as Mini UFO instead of just UFO because there's quite a few people who refer to the final boss of the world, the King of Toys boss, as UFO as well. There have been quite a few approaches to doing this fight during the last few weeks of routing this game, including doing the fight without a mech and relying purely on physical hits and using fire, killing a mech during the fight and using the cannons to shoot the UFO, or bringing a red mech up from a lower floor to have that mech for the entire fight. However, all of these fights have various problems that you have to deal with when doing them. For example, doing the fight without a mech has been considered inconsistent by a lot of people, and it's been seen as slower than using a mech from the fight. However, if you kill a mech during the fight, you have to wait for the mech to die and go through its animation so that you can actually get into it. And lastly, and most obviously, bringing a mech from another floor takes way more time movement-wise. My goal with this video is to share what I feel is a better and more consistent way of doing this fight, which also happens to be extremely fast. I'd also like to add some explanation to the patterns that Mini UFO moves in as well. So to start off, there's a bit of setup required for this fight to work properly in the way that we're going to be doing it, and this setup comes in during the Angelic Amber doll fight. The goal of this fight is to get the Double Arrowguns transformation from the Shooting Star Keyblade, and use that towards the end of the fight so we have it stored for the Mini UFO fight. In order to do this, I like to mix in a few physical combos during the period where Angelic Amber falls asleep and becomes invulnerable. Not only does this prevent me from wasting MP on fires that wouldn't do any damage to her, but it also lets me get a few physical hits in on her as soon as she becomes vulnerable again. These hits lead up to getting the Double Arrowguns transformation that we're going to be using during the Mini UFO fight. Another option for this fight is also doing physical hits on the other enemies during the fight, in that same time period where Angelic Amber becomes invulnerable, instead of trying to hit her while she's invulnerable. The most important part of this setup is to make sure that you use the Double Arrowguns transformation right before the fight ends. If you don't use it, you lose it. In addition to this, you want to switch to another Keyblade towards the end of the fight or as soon as the fight is over. Doing this allows you to store the Double Arrowguns transformation on the Shooting Star Keyblade and stop the timer on it from going down so that we have the entire form to use during the Mini UFO fight. Now let's move on to the main course, the Mini UFO fight itself. I'm going to be showing off an ideal fight here first so that you can see how the fight is supposed to go, and then we'll take a step back and break it down.
Keep going, Sora!
Almost there. You think there's a way to hit it from far away? Perhaps if we use the...
We are back!
Pretty fast, right? Let's break this down a bit. At the start of the fight, you want to jump and hold R2 to use the auto shoot attack from Double Arrowguns. Because Mini UFO's health bar is based on hits and not damage, the projectiles from auto shoot shred down the health like crazy. Another important aspect of auto shoot is its lock-on function. When you position the reticle on an enemy, auto shoot will lock on and stay snapped in place on top of that enemy. For this fight, when Mini UFO teleports after taking enough damage, Sora stays locked onto that enemy as long as you're within range, so this allows you to continue holding R2 and shooting at Mini UFO when it moves to its new position. Once you do enough damage at the start of the fight, Mini UFO will teleport up to the top in the center of the room of Kid's Corral. Once this happens, you want to get a few more shots in on him. I aim to have the health bar be slightly above half health. Once you reach this point, you can jump on the trampoline, switch to another Keyblade to store the Double Arrowguns transformation, and do physical hits on Mini UFO to push him to teleport again. Once you've done enough damage, Mini UFO will teleport once more, and he takes a path that leads him to the right side of Kid's Corral. In order to cover this, we can air slide over to the right side, switch back to Double Arrowguns, and start auto shooting again. For this portion of the fight, your positioning is key. You want to position yourself towards the back right corner of the room, close to the metal bar that you can see here. Doing so allows you to lock onto Mini UFO when you do these shots, and it keeps you locked on for when Mini UFO teleports again, so you can just keep holding R2 and auto-shoot him when he comes back through the center. Once you've done enough damage to Mini UFO with these auto-shoots to make him teleport after he's come back through the center, then he'll take a path from the left side of Kid's Corral and come back up through the center. You want to position yourself here towards the center of the room and keep auto-shooting in that direction, and Mini UFO will run directly into it. Be careful that you don't move too close towards Mini UFO during this portion of the fight, because if you get too close to him, then instead of coming back through the center, Mini UFO will take a path towards the right wall instead. These last few shots on Mini UFO should end the fight, but if enemies get in the way and block some of the shots, or for whatever reason Mini UFO teleports away again before you can kill, then he'll teleport back up to the top portion in the middle of the room, where he was when you did the second set of shots on him in the opening. You can target up there and you should be able to kill him pretty easily. I'm going to leave a few more clips of some suboptimal fights in the description of this video, so if you want to see ways of recovering the fight when things go wrong, you might be able to get some ideas from those. I really hope that people find this video helpful, and I hope it gives everyone a better understanding of how this fight works. Thanks for watching.